Oh, okay. I'd start in 3, 2, 1. So right away I'll do a glitch. I'll explain that after I'm done because I kind of have to concentrate for it. So yeah, right there I use this super speed glitch. It's kind of weird how it works. If you pause, like if you hold down pause as the game loads, you will actually pause on the first frame of, like you will actually pause as soon as the game has started, finished loading, and that that causes the game to kind of glitch out because you pause at the same time that the spawning animation starts happening, and for some reason that allows you to it changes your acceleration. If you do inputs, for some reason, like if I press forward after I start that glitch, I will start accelerating forward, but when I let go of forward, it won't like undo that. Oh wow, I didn't. 1 second, I'll have to invert the rotation, otherwise I like can't deal with this. There we go. Yeah, it won't undo it again, so I can just build up speed in one direction by engaging the glitch and then continuously pressing buttons. But it is only in a single direction, and I only have about 4 seconds, which is the duration of the spawning animation, to do it. And on some later levels, you will see me like mashing away at the directional keys to actually get all the inputs done in time. There's actually a setup to use this glitch on every level, even though some of them took quite some time to figure out. But yeah, this is level 1. It's kind of simple. You could probably see me do some minor skips, but there's nothing really all that exciting. This is level 2. Here I'll be actually using the speed glitch in a slightly different manner. This level, the usage of the speed glitch in this level is kind of special, because usually I just use it to build up huge amounts of speed to then zip to the first checkpoint, and then I usually either die or I hit one of these transformers, both of which will reset my speed to normal, so I can actually control the ball properly. But with this, I'm actually keeping the speed, so right now I actually can't physically go backwards. I can only abuse slopes to push me backwards, but I can't go backwards by myself. So I went to go around that because it's slightly faster, but it doesn't really matter. I've used the speed for what I meant to use it for. You might not have noticed it, but I actually used it to boost off a small ramp, and then I boosted around a transformer. So I pretty much skipped all of the second checkpoint by using this. The rest of this level I'll just do as intended.
So what you've got in Ballance is you've got 3 ball states. You've got the wooden one, which is the one that you begin with, and then you've got the paper one, which is very nimble and quick, but has no power. So when you're doing some of the obstacle puzzles, you'll not be able to do anything that involves a weighted bridge, or you'll not be able to knock down a ramp as a paper one. And this is how the game conventionally gates progress behind. You'll need to go to find a transformer and get the state that you need, and then carry on. And as you can see here, paper flies.
Yeah, it's very light, so you can. It falls very slowly, and it also can. It's the only ball that can actually get pushed up by the fans. The game also usually wants you to finish with this wooden ball. As you can see, there's like this wooden pattern on the finishing platform. But in some levels I don't really care about that.
Whee!
Yeah, here I skip straight to this paper transformer. So you might wonder why I don't just zip straight for the checkpoint on every level like I did on level 1. No, I actually didn't do that at all until now. So in some levels you will see me zipping straight for the checkpoint and then dying, so kind of taking a death and then respawning at the checkpoint. But the death planes in this game, they don't extend infinitely outwards. So if the checkpoint is too far away, and I sometimes I'll have to build up like 20 times speed to actually get to the checkpoint, And by that point, I'm so fast that I'll actually miss all the death planes, and then I'll just fly off into infinity without ever dying, and that's not very helpful.
So that skip that you just did there, I'm really not sure if that's intended or not, because it skips such a substantial amount of the level. And it's like, surely they'd have known about that.
Yeah, I kind of glossed over that, but yeah, it's literally just jumping off like that. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's you could do it first try if you tried to install the game and just run off the edge and the ball falls so slowly, and you'll see that a couple other times in the run, that you can just skip through huge parts of the levels.
Yeah, they really didn't do a good job like testing whether you could actually shortcut in some areas.
So what you've got there is sideways rails, and the sideways rails, all you need to do is hold an additional keyboard button, and your ball, if you are wood or paper, is able to grip into the wall on the rails, but the concrete's too heavy for this.
Yeah, there's also a thing like the stone and the wooden and paper ball are rather agile. Like usually when you press a direction, they almost immediately go there. Like the wooden ball is still slightly unresponsive, but it's like nothing you really need to worry about all that much. That's a small cut. But the stone ball has some heavy inertia going on, so it usually takes like 2 seconds to slow down from full speed, and that's something that can really screw you. If you're going full speed in one direction and you don't remember to slow down in time, you'll just overshoot and there's nothing you can do. So I'll hope that won't happen to me. Right here I'll use double speed again. I used to use triple speed here, which also works, but then I'll have to take a death abuse, which is both slower because the dying animation takes some time, and it also takes one life away from me, which I'd like to preserve for the sake of the marathon. I almost overshot that. Again, when I have double speed forwards, I can't go backwards. I can only, if I hold backwards, I'll just go neutral like right now. If I let go of backwards, I'll go forwards, and if I hold forwards, I go forwards at double speed. Right here, I used to think it's the fastest to take this paper transformer right in the middle there, but it's actually, like, going down here, it's definitely quickest to go for this one, but this next checkpoint, I used to think paper was fastest for this, but it's actually not. Wooden, for some reason, wood can go up slopes. Like, this slope right here, it's actually faster to go up it with the paper ball. Also, these stone balls have a set pattern, so it's pretty easy to avoid them if you know where they're coming from. Damn it, I meant to cut that corner. Right here there's a small skip. You're meant to push down 3 of these stone balls, and you'll actually lock yourself out if you push down 4. But it's actually sufficient to just push down a single one. You actually just have to hold sideways there. It's a very easy skip. With a paper ball, you actually have to do something more involved, but with a wooden ball, it's enough to just hold sideways and push it down as fast as you can. Right here, there's a neat little skip, if I can get it first right. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, right there, you can kind of abuse the upwards boost of the fan to just make it across there. If you actually stay on the fan until you're at the very top and then you try to go across, it won't work, which is probably why the developers didn't catch it. The timing to get that is actually very specific. I'm sorry?
No, that last little tower segment is another thing where it looks like they've maybe just missed an unintended skip, because the idea of the upwards fan there is to actually prevent you progressing if you're still paper. It looks like it could have just been missed.
Yeah, I think they didn't do a lot of playtesting for this game, because there's some really obvious stuff that's still in there. Also, right there, I kind of did a rather precise... Sorry, I had to count there. I did a rather precise skip around a stone transformer as the wooden ball, because that's slightly faster. Right here, I had to shoot for the paper transformer, because if I'm already a wooden ball, the wooden transformer won't stop me. But I want to be wood for this, because paper can't push this barrier in. And as you might imagine, this is kind of a shortcut, but it's also a rather tricky one, because I have to actually get back from over here. And I actually got it first try, but that jump across there is very tricky because the barrier actually blocks you from going back. Yeah, oftentimes you'll see me avoiding a stone transformer if at all possible. Like, if I don't desperately need to be a stone ball, I usually avoid becoming one, just because it takes ages to, like, turn any corner with it. If there's a long straight section, it's actually the fastest, but otherwise it's not very nice to have it.
Not much to say about these platforming segments. I mean, the skip back down the way is very obviously intended.
Yeah. It's not like this part right here is pretty simple. Ah. You have to make sure to push that box out all the way. I don't want to overshoot. So right here there's a minor skip you can do. This is one of the few times where I actually want to stay a stone ball because I need this later. And there's these railings, so I can actually go full speed and just bump into them to kill all my speed instantly. So I can still turn the corners quickly. I only have to be careful right here because there's actually no railing here, so I have to slow down preemptively. As you can see, I would have to become stone here anyways. And that way it's just a bit quicker because I don't have to turn back into wood and then back into stone. Right here there's a slight cut. It doesn't actually look possible to do that, but it's surprisingly easy if you just wiggle back and forth while going up that slope.
I spent many nights wondering about the lore of this game. Like, why do you get jungle drums when you're on the last checkpoint? And just what do the dong domes mean?
Yeah, that's a mystery never to be found out about, I guess. So right here, this is another instance of bad playtesting. You can just jump across there. And incidentally, you can also just die as the paper ball and then jump across there from the spawn point, from the respawn point, like the checkpoint. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Yeah, this is actually, like, you can actually get to that paper transformer rather quickly. Like, there's another skip you can do here that doesn't involve that speed glitch. So that most of these speed glitches actually save less time over what you could otherwise do than you might suspect. But they still all save time because you're just moving that quickly. And you don't really have to expend any time to set it up, because it just takes as long as the spawning animation would take anyways to set it up. You don't actually have more time than that. So yeah, this section right here again is very straightforward.
Is it a good time for me to cut in a bit?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. We haven't actually got any donations specifically for the second stream yet, but I do want to tell you about a upcoming donation goal for the second stream. Rayman Origins, there's a $500 goal for Land of the Living Dead, which I wasn't sure what it is, but I looked it up, and apparently it's the true secret ending of the game. You need to do a lot more to unlock it. So if you want to see the true ending of Rayman Origins, we need $400 more for that goal.
Ooh, this is hard.
Yeah, this is
I hate doing this.
This is a bit tricky to do, and it doesn't save all that much time, so if you die once, you're probably not gonna save time anymore. And like, usually you're not supposed to get past that stone ball, and B, you're not supposed to be able to push that many boxes as the wooden ball, at least not with that little runway. But if you go, in this game, if you go diagonal, you're actually faster than if you go straight. So you can just kind of abuse that to hit the boxes diagonally again and again, and that moves them out of the way rather quickly.
And being able to stay as wood there means you do that entire next puzzle segment as wood, which is just going to be quicker.
Oh wow, I got that first try. That's a very precise one, because you have to do so many inputs, and then you actually have to adjust your
I've not seen that one before.
trajectory midair.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, that skips like quite a large section as well. Right here, there's another instance of a skip that's so simple to find that I actually found it on my first try. Like, I think you're not supposed to get up there right away, but you just have to, like, you literally just have to go over there, like, as you're still moving up. It's super simple.
This seesaw can be something of a trap as well, because what you can do is, as wood, you can go over the seesaw and then it will rock back to its original position.
Yeah, if you could actually see me waiting on the far end of the seesaw there for a second. I tried to go for the skip there. If you push that box just right, it will actually stay under the stone block. And that way I can just push out the second box and then just go back through under the first stone block. And that way I save having to take this detour to get back. But it's not that big of a deal. Oh, yeah, in this game, if you go, I kind of have to control my speed. You can see right there, I was going a bit too fast. It's the same on this spiral right here. If I just go as fast as I can, I'll just fly out. So I have to actually be careful not to go too fast, which is kind of frustrating when you're trying to go fast. But that's the way physics works, I guess. That's the one thing I have to give this game. It actually has a very solid physics engine.
It's very raw. The balls just feel nice to play.
Yeah, except for the stone ball.
Well, yeah.
Because it's so unresponsive. But
the paper one's just...
Yeah, the paper is great. But it has a... Like, the paper ball is the only ball that isn't perfectly round. So it always jumps around a bit. And that's actually very annoying for some of the skips I'm doing. Most of the time it doesn't matter too much. It can make them slightly harder depending on how it bounces, but usually it's still possible. But there's like one skip which I didn't do. Like actually there's a few more, but I do none of them that actually require you to get a very lucky bounce with a paper ball.
So if it's not clear, what happens here is that the floating platforms are weighted down by the walls, so when you knock down the walls they'll rise up.
Yeah. And right here, this is a very easy skip. You just do 5. You just press up and right 5 times, and then you just head straight for the checkpoint without having to do anything. I would say arguably level 8, which is the level I'm on right now, is probably the most broken level in the game. I think... I don't remember, but I think all except for one checkpoint in this level are broken, and the one last one is still like... I'm still not quite doing it as intended. So right there I kind of skipped around those boxes, which they are placed at an angle, so you can actually like kind of do that. You're supposed to push them out of the way first, but why would I do that?
One thing I should explain just outside of the game. It was announced on the first stream about 20 minutes ago. We discovered a problem with the donation tracker, which has now been fixed. It was causing certain donations to not show up within the tracker, so they were still reaching Save the Children, but we didn't see the messages. That's now been... Sorry.
It's not your fault.
That's now been fixed. So we have on the other stream an additional $750 worth of donations and comments that are being slowly read out. So, yeah, through Final Fantasy. So if you donated and you heard your message not be read out, then check out Final Fantasy VIII. After finishing watching Ballance, of course.
Of course.
That swing is hard.
Yeah, the swings in this game are pretty terrible, and that swing being terrible is actually the reason why I'm not going to turn into a stone ball to push off these boxes. You're meant to do that because, as I said before, like, they're not meant to be pushable. Like, not at least not, like, as you can see here, I have to run up again and again to actually push them, or have to have a very high speed. But it's still faster to do that, especially if you die. That was kind of close, but it still worked out. Oh. Yeah, I got a bit...
This is a long checkpoint.
Yeah, I got a bit zealous there, trying to cut corners, and then it would have actually worked if I hadn't tried to, like, cancel it, wow, early. Yeah, there you can see the swing being...
It's just being a swing.
Oh my, wow. At least there's a platform below it, so I don't lose lives, because I would have died, I would have lost all my lives by now. And that's something I want to avoid at all costs, because if I lose all my lives, I have to actually restart the entire level, and that takes quite a long time, especially at a point like this, where I'm almost done with the level. So I'm actually being more careful here than I usually would. Usually I would take this a bit more aggressively, pushing these boxes, but I don't want to lose another life. So let's not cut corners this time. Let's just go along the path as intended.
All you do is hold up and left there.
Yeah, it's like the rails are they are placed in such a way that I don't actually have to look. This is another very simple skip. You just press up and left 3 times.
And we're now in space.
Yes, we are. So right here there's a skip I've just started learning, and it's pretty difficult, so I might not get it. I'll try to go for it twice, and if I don't get it, I'll actually reset the level, because I'm on the first... Effectively, this is the first checkpoint, and I just want those lives back. But I got it. So yeah, right there, you can push the first barrier, and then just get the bounce off of the guardrail for the second barrier, like that. Right here, I could have gone to go past that pendulum right away, but I'd rather not lose after getting that skip first try. I kind of messed this up. If you get this skip I'm doing right here optimally, it only saves about 5 seconds. So it's not... Oh, that was a very close one.
Blind swings, man.
Yeah, swings are terrible. At least, like, that swing, if you make it over to the side with a paper transformer, you're pretty much guaranteed to get back, because because of the way the swing cycle times with the transforming animation. So that's nice. You can just hold forward. Right here you can also just hold forward until the last fan and you just make it. And then right here, this is what I've been mostly wanting to save my lives for. There's a pretty nice skip coming up. I'm hoping to get it first try, of course, but it's been known to cause me some trouble. I'll only go for it twice because I don't want to have to redo the entire level. But I'm hoping to get it right here. So right here, this is actually spaced. Didn't get it. You can actually jump onto that middle part, and then you can use that to jump all the way across to like the end of that section without pushing another barrier out of the way. And that actually, if you get it first try, it saves quite a bit of time. And there's actually a way of failing that. Like if you fail it without actually dying, but instead overshoot and get over to the other side, you still save time because you have to go over to the... Oh, I'm pointing, you can't see that. You have to go over to that spiral. You can... Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, this can sometimes happen where this thing, it just locks up into position, and even casually, there's like nothing you can do. But right there, I can just kind of try to do that to salvage the situation, which is something you probably not do casually.
Yeah, casually you just roll off and then die 3 times and restart the level.
Oh yeah, I got the skip there. So yeah, now I'm actually past the difficult part of level 9, so I shouldn't die here, but this rising platform right here, as the stone ball is very, very yucky, so sometimes it just...
It's easy to get cocky on.
Yeah, it's easy to just overshoot because you build up too much speed. So right here, this is kind of a trap. If you push down too many of those weights, you'll actually overshoot the right rail, and the upper rail actually has a blockade at the end. So you're just trapped, and you have to restart the checkpoint by killing yourself. I think that's the first trap in the entire level, but from now on, that's kind of going to happen a few times where the developers kind of put in... Oh no, there was actually a trap in level 4 as well, but that one was very obvious because you could see it beforehand. But yeah, the developers kind of put some traps in this game. I actually forgot my setup there, so I didn't do it. That should be it. So this right here is actually a very precise bounce. You just kind of abuse the collision there to bounce upwards and just into that transformer, which looks very nice if you get it first try like that. And it also skips a pretty big section. Right here I have to always withstand just jumping straight for that paper transformer down there, because there's that seesaw that I just went across, and if I don't flip it,
I think that's a designed trap that it looks like, oh, I can just fall down there, then you come back up.
Yeah, it's one of the more obvious traps, but it's definitely still something that I think it got me on my first playthrough. So this right here is actually kind of I don't know what kind of developer oversight this is, because the developers never intend you to go like on a single rail like that when there's double rails. I'll come back to going on a single rail in level 12 because there's like a different mechanic in level 12. But generally when there's a double rail, both of the rails have pointy tops, so you can't actually stay on top of them, even if you line yourself up properly. So you have to constantly work to stay on top of them. That one is a very short section though, so it's generally very easy to get that skip. Right here I'm going to attempt another skip. If I line myself up right here, and then I kind of use the metal bit that's sticking out of that seesaw to get just enough distance to make it onto that other bridge. And now I'm on the last checkpoint. This section point right here, you're probably supposed to do with stone again, and most players will probably opt for that. But you can actually, I cut a bit too much there. You have to cut that corner in order to hit the box out of the way. But yeah, you run the risk of just falling. But I have enough lives to risk that. Okay, and then right here you can just cut across like that to not deal with having to get anything else out of your way. And then coming up right here, there's actually another developer trap, and this one is actually unfair. This is the only one that's actually unfair, because you literally can't see it coming. Right here, it looks like you can make it across to that target platform, and you actually can, but they put an invisible wall in the way. But if you just go around the invisible wall, you can still make it across. And so right here, I'm using double speed to make it across that gap. Even though you can still kind of make it without that speed glitch, but you have to do it differently, and it's a lot harder than that. Here you're kind of supposed to solve this section differently, but you can just cut across like that. Which is a bit difficult because there's kind of an invisible, there's like the collision, these bridges that kind of toggle. Oh, damn it. These bridges that kind of have like a hatch on each side, which can only be like only one of them, where only one of them can be down at a time. Like the middle section of that actually has a collision that is way larger than it actually looks. So it actually obstructs that hole quite a lot. So you have to get through a quite narrow gap there to make it. And yeah, you can see right there I like kind of got stopped by it. Yeah, that's it. Right here, this is another trap. If you go for the right side here first, this hatch will actually open and you won't be able to make it across and knock down that bridge. And this checkpoint right here is, if I do all the skips that I can technically do right here, it's definitely the hardest one I'm doing in this entire run. I'll only attempt one of the two skips I'm doing here once because it's that difficult, and I don't want to waste my lives on it. If I get it, that's very nice, but it's not that big a deal if I don't. So this one is the easier one of the two. You can kind of abuse that box to... I didn't place it properly there. Like, I'm supposed to kind of nudge it to the side so it's kind of tilted, but I didn't do that properly. So it was kind of I had to kind of get lucky as the paper ball to make it across there, because as I said earlier, the paper ball has a random shape, so I could have still made it even though it was not properly aligned. This is how it's supposed to look. Like, yes, you can maybe see it's like way more tilted right now. And as long as I line myself up properly, I should be able to make it across. But I'm not sure if I actually want to go for the other skip right now. I'll try it once. I hope I won't die trying. But what you can do is just build up speed. Yeah, you can build up enough speed such that you can just make it across that to the other side of that stone ball, but that's very, very difficult. And I've only been implementing that skip since like 2 weeks ago, so I didn't really expect to get it. But I kind of wished I didn't die on this first attempt, because now I'm kind of worried that I might die to this. Oh wow. Okay, I'll just do this casually then. Yes, you can actually get this skip off of this box as well, but it's more difficult, and I don't want to risk it with no lives left, so I'm just gonna do this the casual way. I still got to show you the skip that I do here, so it's fine. Here you have to kind of cut across like that. I have to be careful not to overshoot here. That would be bad. Luckily, the rest of this level I shouldn't die on. There's a slight chance, as always. If I kind of blank out for a second and overshoot, or go too fast in a curve like this, it'll definitely happen, but it shouldn't. So yeah, this is the way you're supposed to do this. Which is way slower than what I could have done. Like, just for reference, if I made it across at the wooden ball there, I could have just held straight, and I would have actually managed to get over to that other side. And it looks like it's a dead end. It's definitely a dead end for that stone ball. But as the wooden ball, if you go full speed, you actually get a bounce that's just high enough to make it over that part of the bridge that's sticking up. So you just make it onto the flat part of the bridge. So you basically get to the very end of that section. With both looks very cool and saves like 15 seconds, but it's also very difficult. Right here I'm kind of doing this section backwards. You can see I kind of jumped down there, and this is actually like the last thing one of the last things you're supposed to do here. But it's quicker to jump down there first, get the barrier, because you have to come back here. Like, you have to push those barriers out of the way before you turn into a paper ball. And since the paper transformer is up here, that's the quickest way to do it. So yeah, those were two like jumps that kind of abuse the fact that the paper ball is so light, along with the slight slopes that are on the edges of the track to get just enough distance. This checkpoint right here can be kind of tricky. Sometimes, as the paper ball, the rails just eject you if you're going too fast because of the irregular shape. So I took it kind of slow there to make sure that doesn't happen. And then this checkpoint right here is, yeah, it doesn't exist.
That skips another like 5 or 6 minutes of casual puzzling.
Yeah, that section is quite involved. And there's a skip I could do right here, but it only saves 5 seconds, and I don't want to risk my last life. What I could have done is I could have went left on that third to last rail there, but I have to kind of make sure to... Damn it, I miscounted. Okay, so here it kind of comes into play what I said earlier about missing a death plane. So that bounce that you could see the ball making at the end, like I hit the checkpoint and then I bounced down after hitting a rail. If I hadn't bounced down there, I wouldn't have died. Also right here, you're supposed to like line up by pressing against one of these double rails to get across there, but if you practice enough, you can actually just make it across like it. You can also like manually tap left and right until you're just centered on the rail and then make it across, but that's very slow, so I'd rather not do that. Even though it would still be faster than doing that section casually. Like, usually it only takes about like 10 to 15 seconds to line yourself up. But I'm coming back to this. This is actually level 12. As you can see, it has these single rails. But single rails are actually different from these double rails. Like this right here is an intended double rail. So it actually has pointy tops, so you can't you can't possibly line yourself up in such a way that you'll stay on top of it indefinitely. With the single rails, you can do that because they actually have a flat piece of collision at the top. So that skip that I just did right there is actually rather difficult because you have to balance yourself on top of the single rail for quite a long time. Another noteworthy thing about level 12, most of the levels in this game actually have exactly 4 checkpoints and then the end point, which makes for 5 sections. Level 1 only has 4 sections, which is 3 checkpoints and 1 end point. Level 12 actually has 7 sections, so it's, if it feels longer, it is.
I think on my first playthrough, level 11 was... I took double the time on level 11 that the rest of the game up until that point had taken me. It took me a very, very long time.
Yeah, the level 11 is arguably more difficult than this, because this level, if you just do what the developers intend you to do and always like line yourself up, there's like rails that you're supposed to press up against to be lined up for the single rails. And if you do that, there's a very low chance of actually dying. So that's a very neat skip. If I'm supposed to push down that stone ball, but it takes a very long time to actually roll down, so I just knock over the bridge myself. And I actually got the quick version where I managed to jump onto the very top of the bridge, which knocks it over immediately. It's also possible to hit it at a less favorable angle, which means that it takes a lot longer to actually knock it over. It's still faster than going for the stone ball though. And right here, this checkpoint is, yeah, you're supposed to push those boxes out of the way, but you can just do this. And that's that checkpoint. And right here, since the developers never intended you to get to here with a paper ball, you can just cut across in front of that stone transformer and just make it to the very end without any trouble. Like, if you were a stone ball there, you would actually have to take great care to stay, like, close to the middle. And that's time. You actually have to take great care to stay close to the middle.
Kidnapped.
Yeah. Yeah, the lore of this game, it doesn't make sense. Don't question it. It's a UFO, it makes sense.
Alright, and just before you walk away, we got a $5 donation from Funny Atch, who says, fond memories of long nights spent with this game, especially the very first one. Now that I think of it, you never did bring me that energy drink, did you? Anyway, best of luck with the run, my boy.
Yeah, that's one of my friends. I've spent some time routing this game with him.
Nice.
Thank you, Funny. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Oh, well.
Alright. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. That was pretty interesting. A little physics ball-based game. Alright, and coming up next, we got Wii Sports Resort by Christophe. God, I'm gonna butcher like every single name. Yeah, he's I apologize. But yeah, we got a Wii Sports Resort coming up next. All sports category. So I hope you like sports more than you like Final Fantasy anyway. So yeah, if I'm a bit slow with the donations at the moment, it's actually because I'm an idiot and broke my own donation tracker. So yeah, if I'm a bit late with donations, I apologize, but I'll try to get them. I need Stream 1 to verify them for me. My first hosting session, I managed to break everything. Woo! So yeah, while they get up set up for the next run, I'll just say the donation goal for Rayman Origins again, Land of the Living Dead, which is coming up later today. It's basically just the unique ending, the unique and secret ending for that game. So if you want to find out more about that, get that donation goal done. We are at $92 of 500 currently. And you have, ooh, let's see, how many hours have you got till then? Good God, I hate laptop trackpads. You have, where are we? You've got about 8 hours to do that. Yeah, they're just getting set up now. Get all the Wii plugged in and stuff. So yeah, how are you guys? Yeah, it's Josh. Hey, I am the Joshimus, reading all the things. The Joshimus. Yeah, the donation counter on the stream at the moment is dead at the moment, back to 0. All your donations obviously are still coming in and going to the charity and whatnot. It's just not visually updating on the stream at the moment. We had some technical problems with the stream layouts and stuff. I think we were accidentally DDoSing SRC as well. But yeah, it's being fixed now, so that should be back soon enough. The reason this stream isn't ESA Marathon 2 is because this stream is actually being run by Leemyy, who's this is his channel. He's like handling the tech for the entire stream too. Because in previous years we had 2 streams, but it created a massive stress on like the whole tech schedule and everything. People staying up like all night for 2 sets of people staying up all night constantly was a bit of a struggle. But yeah, this year we've gone with a daytime hour stream too, and it's being run by Leemyy, who's a professional. How do you say it? Leemyy. Oh God. Every single person's name I'm gonna butcher. Yeah, we're almost at 25k in donations. Hey, Trollbear. Yeah, do you know, is the, I imagine the counter is with the matching, right? Well, not 0, but yeah. Oh hey, it's a Wii U that's being set up, not a Wii. Fancy. Counter at bottom left is with the match. Alright, thanks. You think I'd know that? I have to ask you. Yeah, it's pretty chill in here, Jar. It's nice. Yeah, this room's hot. The stream chat's chill. The whole stream's chill. Yeah, so the camera you guys are looking at right now, that's where we are. If there's like a balcony behind us, it overlooks the whole venue. And to the side of that, there's a little tiny, like, little conferencey room thing. That's where we're all sat. They're looking for the tape and I was hiding it with my phone. Whoops. This event is in Växjö in Sweden. Jar. With like smack bang in the middle of Sweden. It's really hilarious as well. Every time ESA has been held in Sweden, you'd think, oh, nice cold Scandinavian Sweden, it'll be freezing, pack warm clothes and stuff. Like every time ESA is on, there's always like a massive heat wave for the entire duration of the event. Or we make jokes that we should tell a load of, professional weather people that, hey, we can predict the strongest week of, or the strongest heat. Warmest week of the year. God damn. It's too early to talk. I don't know what the weather is in England, actually. I think it's actually pretty cold in England. It's like we had a massive heat wave in England for a bit, and then I came over here, and then we had another massive heat wave in Sweden. It's flippin' typical. Yeah, I worded it poorly, but yeah, ESA's always been in Sweden. Oh hey, donation count was back. Woo! Cold where you're in Australia. Yeah, I heard that. The Australian speedrunner marathon that happened recently was really cold, apparently. Yeah, the next game is Wii Sports Resort. They're just setting it up now. Yeah, previous years ESA was held in Skövde, which is how you pronounce that. And this year it's in Växjö. I've been learning my Swedish. The very first year I came here, I actually thought it was pronounced Skadove. Like, it's not even right if it was English. The D is in the wrong place.
I'm sorry, my dear.
Did you mean to leave the lights on?
You think you've learned your lesson?
Guess I made a mistake.
No, unfortunately there's not a Nando's. They don't even have KFC. They've had to... what they do have here, though, is Max Burger. It's like their national burger chain, and it's really, really good. Really outclasses, like, Burger King and McDonald's. We're not sponsored. This is my personal opinion. Hey, we got the lights off. Nice. It's atmospheric. Oh, you do have KFC in Sweden, just a few places. Okay. Hesburger? I haven't personally seen a Hesburger, no. I haven't been exploring that much, though. Kind of stayed around the venue. There's too much stuff to do here. Like you can see all the. I think you can see in your camera the arcade machines on the left, and there's that one arcade machine, the Quick and Crash. It's like a light gun arcade game from like '91 or something. It's super popular because it has a timer on it, and everyone's speedrunning it. It's so good. I think there's like a mini stream of it somewhere. ESA Arcade. People are shouting at me. Yeah, I tried it a bit myself. If you got sub 4 seconds, Naglaria buys you a hamburger or cheeseburger. Specifically cheeseburger. Okay. Yeah, and I couldn't get sub 4. I think my best was sub 5 as far as I got. All right, looks like we're almost ready here. with Wii Sports Resort. All sports. Master of every sport.
Okay, I'm glad I was here because that's a really easy fix, but it's the least obvious thing in the world. We wasted about 45 minutes of DreamHack.
Yeah, I would have been
Yeah, it's
mad.
bad bug.
Where are you off to, Planks? Oh, he's got. I guess he's dead.
Stop talking about food, yeah.
Food? Who's talking about food? Oh, you chat.
Okay.
Alright, and looks like we're ready.
Yeah. 1 second, I have to go into a sport quickly to do some calibration. Then I'm ready. I need that chair. You actually need a lot of side equipment for this run.
He's sitting down, he's cheating.
Now that I can hear you, just for reference, how do I pronounce your name?
Chris Sufi.
Chrisufi.
Yeah,
Okay, alright.
that's how everyone is doing it. Okay, okay, let's quickly, and then I'm good to go. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it away. Okay, now we can go. Okay, time is going to start when I'm selecting my character here, so that's pretty much when I press OK. So when you guys are ready, I'm also ready. Okay, so do you get your countdown?
Okay.
Okay.
We're